الحمد لله رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين وله الكبرياء في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات. ربنا لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد الرضا. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيد الأولين والآخرين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ملك الحق المبين. أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله وأمين أرواحه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. Dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, all praise and glory and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His countless bounties and favors. And on top of all the bounties and favors comes the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed us with this great religion that promises and guarantees happiness and success in this life and in the hereafter. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِّعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Anything good that you have, anything good that happens in your life, it is a blessing and favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the verses we just recited, we are reminded to always do self-assessment, check what we have prepared for tomorrow, what we have invested and saved with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the moment we leave this life, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that counts. Everything else that we are worried about it now becomes worthless. The only thing that matters is what you invested and you saved with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, unfortunately, we're going for months now and the tragedy is continuing in Gaza, and we are watching helplessly. We are reminded of our weakness or almost irrelevance. It's the same thing happened over and over again. Whenever something like this happens, we mobilize for a while, we protest, we react, and then that does not sustain. And usually, unfortunately, does not change a lot. That's why we really need to think deeply, because insanity is defined as keep doing the same thing and expect different results. We're going nowhere with this mindset and with this way of doing business. We can only pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to alleviate the suffering of those people in Gaza and everywhere. اللهم فرج كربهم واجعل لهم من كل ضيق مخرجا ومن كل هم فرجا ومن كل بلاء عافية. ومستر عوراتهم وآمن روعاتهم. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala somehow makes ceasefire happen at least before the month of Ramadan. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we're continuing with our series talking about how Islam promises and ensures the well-being of individuals, families, communities, and societies. This is not the religion of Akhirah. This is the religion of this life. Promises and delivers and ensures and guarantees very successful and happy life here, even before the hereafter. And that's for individual, for family, for communities, for nations, and for all humanities. And that with very simple but very effective tools. We started this talking about taqwa Allah wa husn al-khuluq. Taqwa Allah wa husn al-khuluq. Having, being mindful of Allah and having the best manners. Taqwa Allah wa husn al-khuluq. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that's what weighs the heaviest on the scale. And that's what almost guarantees people to go to heaven. تقوى أكثر ما يدخل الناس الجنة تقوى الله وحسن الخلق. Why? For a very simple reason, because taqwa Allah, the stronger is your iman, the more motivated to do good. And the stronger is your ability to restrain yourself. And that's the key. That's the key for the success of individuals and families and everything. It's you are motivated to do good, you have a strong motivation, and you have a strong ability to restrain yourself. So that you end up doing what you are supposed to do, even if it is not convenient. And restraining yourself from things that are harmful and destructive, even if they are tempting. That's success. That's the key to success. And look for the biography of all successful people. You find this discipline. This discipline is the key for success, and our religion is a religion of discipline. It's a religion, even we have 5 appointments a day with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us the importance of being organized and being disciplined. ضبط النفس. We mentioned how Islam does this. Just take one factor, صدق, truthfulness and honesty. How this ensures the well-being of individuals, families, and communities, etc. One, if you are truthful and honest, you never lie and you never cheat, that will produce a lot of self-esteem and a lot of self-confidence and a lot of peace of mind. You're not worried. Those who are worried and tense are those who are lying, those who are cheating. But if you're not, become very comfortable, very confident, and you have that peace of mind. That's for you. Imagine what this will have for families and communities. Imagine a family where lying free. There is no lying or cheating. That builds trust. And trust builds relationships. And the relationships are critical everywhere. They're critical in families, they're critical in community. We have seen that trust is critical even in politics, critical in business, in economy, everywhere. And the key to that is honesty or truthfulness. So even work ethics and professionalism and productivity at work comes from sadaq. When you are someone who is honest and do not cheat, you will perfect your job, and that will have big impact for yourself and for the society in which you're living. So if you want to change your situation or contribute to change, this is a key. And that's a practical one. Because a lot of time we think about big things, but we end up not doing the small things that we can do. That's why they say think globally, but act locally. Start with yourself. Be the change that you want to see in the world. And that's again one key or practical key, and you can imagine a family or community where people are really truthful and honest, never lie and never cheat. A lot of problems are caused by lack of this, by people lying or by people cheating. Same thing about handling the information, proper handling of the information. And we have one page in Surah An-Nur tells us how to handle information. Second page in Surah An-Nur, please go ahead and study it and try to memorize that. Read that story and read those verses. How Muslims must handle information properly, especially when someone comes to you with rumors or you see something online. How do you handle that? Rejecting, asking for evidence. If they don't produce evidence, they are liars. That's what Quran says. And then even after you do all of that, you don't share any information unless it is useful. Even after you made sure that it is true, still there is another test that the information should pass before you share it, that it does not cause any harm and it is truthful. You can see, just imagine, we all abide by this procedure of proper handling and strict handling of information. What's going to happen? A lot of problems will disappear. A lot of problems are coming from mishandling of information. Rumors circulate and cause a lot of damage. And then you cannot even, damage that cannot be even fixed or reversed. Another khuluq of appreciation. To appreciate what anybody does, anything that a person does to you. Because nobody is forced to do anything to you. Your spouse, your child does something, make sure that you train yourself to thanking people and expressing your appreciation to them. And don't take anything for granted. I have seen time and again problems in relationships, especially spousal relationships, are coming from lack of appreciation. People take each other for granted and take what they do for each other for granted. The lack of appreciation destroy a relationship, and also it makes it harder to do good. I heard this time and again that people say, I stopped helping a person because they are not grateful. They don't appreciate. They take me for granted. So I used to help and I stopped helping, whether a cousin or a friend, etc. By the way, that's the wrong thing to do. When you are tested with a situation like this, remember that turned into an opportunity. Why? Because when you do something that is not appreciated, more than likely it is sincere, it's pure to Allah, because the person is not appreciating. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. So when you find yourself in a situation like this, don't take it as an excuse that I used to help, but now I'm not helping because these people don't appreciate what I do for them. No, keep doing it because you do it for Allah. And actually, if you continue to do it, it's going to be even more pure and more sincere. Just to tell you a story, after this hadith al-ifk, the incident in which Aisha was accused of fornication and the whole community was in turmoil for a whole month, and the whole page in the Quran was revealed because of this. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu used to sponsor someone poor, and this person was very active in spreading the rumors about Aisha, the daughter of Abu Bakr. So Abu Bakr Siddiq said, I'm going to stop. I mean, you're sponsoring someone, and he was the one leading, was very active in spreading the rumors about your daughter. So he decided to stop. Quran was revealed. وَلَا يَأْتَلِ أُولُو الْفَضْلِ مِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ أَنْ يُؤْتُوا أُولِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Quran was revealed to tell Abu Bakr Siddiq to continue. Don't you want Allah to forgive you? You want Allah to forgive you, so forgive this person and continue helping him. And his response from Abu Bakr Siddiq said, no, I want Allah to forgive me, and he resumed sponsoring or helping that poor person who, again, just imagine yourself in that predicament, that you're resuming helping someone who was actively engaged in accusing your daughter of something that is very, very heinous. So appreciation can help encouraging people to do good, but again, if there is no appreciation, don't use it as an excuse. We talked about another khuluq that can make a huge difference and can make many problems disappear. Adab al-ikhtilaf, handling our differences. Having a decent communication when we are different, when we differ about on opinions. Just remember that what you say is not Islam, and what I say is not Islam. It's my understanding of Islam. So that, be humble. So we're not talking iman and kufr, we're talking about your understanding versus my understanding. So it's okay to differ. Sahaba differed about so many issues. I told you last time, and I repeat again, most verses have more than one interpretation. Most verses in Quran, and that's from the time of Sahaba. They have more than one interpretation. So managing differences, having decent communication, listening, and managing to keep relationship even if we are different. Because those differences are not going to go away. We just have to learn to manage them. not to eliminate them. Because this idea of eliminating difference is not going to happen. Two people, twins, they're born at the same time, in the same family, go to the same school, and then they are different. You think that we are coming from different background, or you and your spouse, you're going to be the same? It's not going to happen. So you're going to have to learn, especially when there is gender difference. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created man and woman different so that they can complement each other. Not to be copy of one another. There is no way people can be copy of one another except if they become brainwashed. They cancel their minds. That's when you see people copy of one another, those people are brainwashed. They are following somebody blindly. But if the moment you use your mind, the moment we're going to differ. The moment we start thinking, the moment we're going to differ. So be humble. We are all seeking the truth. None of us owns the truth. And that's always, whenever we start any discussion, be prepared that the discussion may end up without convincing one another, and that's fine. Still can continue to be cousins or neighbors or members of community and brothers and friends, even though we're different. So that's something that you can see how many problems are created at all levels because of failure of managing differences. This adab al-ikhtilaf, and we have seen how the Prophet ﷺ went to the extreme, listening to someone who's telling him, if you are crazy, if you are doing this for money, if you're doing this for power, and the Rasul ﷺ did not interrupt him and did not raise his voice. Because the Rasul ﷺ is a teacher, he teaches us with extreme examples. Just in a case, in a situation like that, and he did not interrupt, he did not raise his voice, he did not respond with the same language. Just imagine we are sticking, or we are all trying to stick to these akhlaq, to these manners. What impact this will have at all levels. And that's the greatness of this religion. It tackles those problems from the roots. It solves or tackles the root causes of problem and uses prevention. Everything that is harmful for an individual or for a family or a society, Islam made it haram. To help people abstaining from it. And everything that is haram, make sure that you know for sure and you have no doubt that it is harmful for you and for family and for community itself. There is no other reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes something forbidden. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it a religious duty to abstain from things that are harmful to you or to your family and to your community. It's an amazing religion. Something that is destructive, self-destructive, or hurts the family or the community, and Islam comes and makes it haram. Sin, so that it can give you more greater incentive to abstain and to avoid those acts. And doesn't stop there. And Islam makes it a religious duty for you to be working against those diseases in the society. Start with you abstaining from those diseases. That will make you someone who is salih, righteous. And that makes it a duty for you to go and work against them, to become a muslah, someone who is not only good in himself, but also is making positive difference in the society and having an impact. Imagine all Muslims, or majority of Muslims, or a good number of Muslims embrace this mission of tazkiyah and islah, that each one of them working on themselves to be the best version, to increase their taqwa and their khuluq, and working to maximize their contribution to the greater good. What kind of communities and societies we will have if we stick to the manners of Islam and we embrace the great mission of Islam, mission of Islah, or al-amr bil-ma'ruf wal-nahi anhu. That's where we can be khayra ummah, truly the best of community and leading communities, and that's how you can get Muslims individuals and families and communities become role models. That's how Islam wants us to be. Wants us to be role models, people who, wherever they settle, they make a difference. That's how Quran described الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر. Wherever we settle them, they establish prayer, they pay zakat, and they go out to make the society a better place through أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. This is the description of the believers. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says خير أمة, He mentioned أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. That's what makes you special. Because wherever you settle, you have an impact on the environment in which you settle. والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر. Believers, men and women, are allies of one another. They promote everything good and they work against anything that is harmful and destructive. Because munkar is something that is harmful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no other reason to make something munkar or haram except that it is harmful for you and harmful for others. It's destructive. So the increasing taqwa and self-restraint, even the ibadat are meant to do this. The acts of worship, they are meant to increase your taqwa and increase your husn al-khuluq, your character, strengthen your character. Inna as-salata tanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Inna as-salata tanha, prayers will make you more capable of restraining yourself from munkar, from doing something that is harmful to you or harmful to others. Inna as-salata tanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar. 5 prayers distributed throughout the day. Your iman, your level goes down, and then the next prayer comes up to recharge, refuel. Your brakes, your ability to restrain yourself, start to weaken, and then the other prayer comes to reset, to strengthen your ability to restrain yourself. There is hardly any time for people to commit sins between prayers. That's why prayers was very helpful for people to stop drinking. In the early days, when they were told, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَأَنْتُمْ سُكَارَى, that's it. I mean, don't pray while you are drunk. There is no time. That was a major step toward abstaining completely from drinking. Your batteries, again, start to go down, die out, and then the salah comes to recharge and refuel. Take another. That's salah in general. Take and see the benefit. Take one prayer, special prayer, Fajr prayer. We're talking about how ibadat increase your taqwa and husn al-khuluq, and they are meant for you. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Everything that Allah prescribed, it's something, even if it is not convenient, like praying or fasting, etc., but it is a blessing and favor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take the prayer of Fajr. On the surface, it's very inconvenient. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it there to help you waking up early. And I say again that Fajr prayer is meant so that people wake up and stay awake, not pray and go back to sleep. It's not required, but it is designed to be like this. It's designed so that you pray and you stay awake. Imagine the impact of this on the life of the individual. You stick to Fajr prayer, pray, and stay awake. You wake up early, you have to sleep early. And these are some of the most important habits for good health and for life. When you wake up, you force yourself to wake up early, then you have to sleep early. And your life will fall in place. Everything will fall in place. Unfortunately, you see Muslims throughout the year, and especially Ramadan, staying late at night and having that very, very bad life habits. And if you read about successful people, You find them, they're members of the 5 a.m. club. People who wake up at 5 and stay awake. There's a lot of barakah in those who try. They know how much you can achieve in the early days, in the early hours of the day. What a great thing to wake up, to start your day with worship and expressing your gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know that those early hours, you can do a lot more than the later hours of the day. So everything in our religion is centered around self-restraint, ضبط النفس, to conquer yourself, to be in control of yourself. Success in life requires discipline, ضبط النفس. Read about people in different fields. There are people who are very talented, whether they are athletes, whether they are in any field. Some politicians, they have very promising career. Why they fail? Lack of discipline. Somebody else who's less talented, they had greater success because of discipline. And you can check this in every field. From business, managing money, to sports, to every field. You find those who succeeded are those who have the discipline to do what they're supposed to do, even if it is not convenient. And those who failed are those who followed their whims and their desires and did not have the ability to restrain themselves. So success in life, to be a role model, requires ضبط النفس, requires to restrain yourself. To be a leader, requires to restrain yourself. Almost everything is centered around, everything in religion is centered around ضبط النفس, or conquering yourself, and conquering yourself is the key to success in all fields, at all levels. Again, self-restraint meaning you are in charge. And if you cannot control yourself, then you're not going to be able to change anything. Because the first thing to do is change starts from within. Conquering yourself meaning being able to do what you are supposed to do, even if you don't like it, even if it is not convenient. And restraining yourself from something bad, even if it is very tempting. And even if the whole world do it, you're not gonna do it. Now, speaking about self-restraint, there is no greater opportunity for transformation than the month of Ramadan. There is no great opportunity. It's a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to live and observe, inshallah, the month of Ramadan. It's something that we should be looking forward, because it is a season and it is a great opportunity, very effective tool for transformation. As we'll be talking about, inshallah, today and in the coming weeks before the month starts. Now, you tell me you're talking about Ramadan, it's too early. Yes, it is too early. If you're planning to have a routine Ramadan, it's too early. You don't need any planning, you don't need any preparation. If you want it to be a month of transformation, then 2 weeks is not a lot of time to prepare and plan. To take full advantage of this season, from now, you need to start preparing yourself mentally and also logistically. Have very strict schedule. There is no time to waste. There is no time to waste in life in general, but there is no time to waste in Ramadan in particular. This is very precious time. So start planning, setting goals for yourself, developing and putting for yourself a very strict schedule, and again, that's the month of transformation. You want to be a very different person, you will not have any opportunity greater opportunity than the month of Ramadan. وَتُوبِ إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we have the salah to maintain our iman. Goes down, salah brings it up. But you have Ramadan to upgrade it. Ramadan is a month to upgrade your iman, to push it to the next level. We're talking about taqwallah and husn al-khuluq and self-restraint. You have an opportunity in Ramadan to push these to the maximum. Why? How Ramadan helps us become conquering ourselves and being restraining ourselves. From the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us in Ramadan to abstain from food and drink. These are the necessity of life. And these are things that are halal. Just tell me, a person who is capable to restrain himself or herself from something that is halal and good and necessary in life, is this person won't be able to abstain from something that is haram and harmful and not necessary? Is not necessary. So Islam brings us in Ramadan to a level where you can restrain yourself from eating and drinking, which are necessities of life and things that are good and halal, so that you will be much more capable of restraining yourself from something that is haram, harmful, and it's not needed. We're talking about halal, good and necessary. On the other hand, haram, harmful, and it's not needed. So that's how Ramadan brings your ability to restrain yourself to much higher level. Prepare to take advantage of it. Set for yourself goals to achieve, and set for yourself habits to acquire. Because in Ramadan you are very strong. I mean, imagine people pray Taraweeh every day and come to Fajr. So where do you get that strength? That's spiritual. You have a lot of spiritual energy. Even when you are physically exhausted, you find yourself very motivated. So take advantage of that energy and that motivation to acquire some habits, some good habits that you don't have. You want to have a regular relationship with the Quran for the rest of the year? Start in Ramadan. It's going to be difficult, but in Ramadan you have more energy to do it and more motivation. You do it the whole Ramadan, it becomes a habit. You want to start reading. You are someone who is not reading. You want to incorporate reading in your life. Start in Ramadan. Decide for yourselves a couple of books and spend daily time reading so that it becomes part of your life. And that applies to bad habits. You are someone who stays late at night. You want to adopt this habits of sleeping early and waking up early. Ramadan. It's the best opportunity. Limit yourself, you pray, you're done praying Isha and Taraweeh, you go to sleep. So, a lot of things that can change in your life in Ramadan. Make sure that not to miss it. And work and start planning from now to make it the best Ramadan that you ever had. You should always try to have this Ramadan better than the one before. And this prayer better than the one before. And like they say, pray as if this is your last prayer. Also we need to fast Ramadan as if it is our last Ramadan. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا. توفنا وانت راض عنا. واختم بالصالحات أعمالنا. واجعل خير أعمالنا خواتمها. وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاك. ومتعنا اللهم بالنظر لوجهك الكريم. ربنا ارحم والدينا كما ربونا صغارا. وارحم موتانا وجميع موتى المسلمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.